officer reports. Katie, you just want to go give a rundown of the financials?
Sure, absolutely. As of today, for income for our concessions, we've made $3,314.06. Our expense for concessions have been $1,323.85, which has brought our total revenue to $1,990.21. As far as our ticket sales, and that's the total as of today as well, we have $4,290.31 in ticket sales. We have set aside $500 that we voted on for the field striper. Is that the correct way to say that? Paints lines on the field. And then we still have the $3,800 on hold for the backstop whenever the school goes ahead and goes forward with that, which brings our balance in our account to $18,462.35. And the rest of it is just old news that we've already done.
Beth, do you have anything?
I do not.
We will, you want to do the AD report? My report's basically the rest of the agenda. so.
Okay. All right, AD report. Our conference tournaments for winter sports begin February 13th. Senior nights, wrestling, we're looking at February 6th. Basketball, we're looking at February 10th. One of the things we're going to mention is the possibility of Booster Club paying for flowers for these events, or also helping pay for the portraits that we put for the senior pictures for the studio. The field striper has arrived. It's in the office today. So we appreciate the help in purchasing that. We're now in the process of trying to figure out how to charge batteries and operate it, but it's a very nice machine. And so that's wonderful to have. Spring sports, baseball has already begun preseason workouts for students that are interested, also not involved in any other sports at this point in time. Softball, the desire is that they would start their spring training next week. Right now, we're planning for tryouts for most of the spring sports around February 15th. Work on the baseball and softball fields for practice purposes should begin next week is our plan. Couple financial requests, we have two. The gate that we've talked about, that's $750 for the security gate, go down here around the corner to protect student lockers in the classrooms at this end for when we have basketball and indoor events from students and guests coming around the building, just to keep the fans on that side of the school. And then the second thing, looking at revisiting the backstops, Mrs. Lebeck, myself, and the administrators, we had sat down and gone through, and we know the money was set aside. I believe it was $3,800. We talked about from PTO as well as boosters for paying for those. We've had contractors coming out this last week and the previous week, and we're looking at basically $18,000, and you would have two practice fields. They're already graded, but you're looking at dirt on the ground, the backstops in place, 60 feet of fence on both sides for both softball and baseball fields, which would allow both our teams to have all their practices on campus. And so one of the things we'd like boosters to consider doing is stepping up and putting some of that money forward. Ideally, 9,000 would be great. We talked about 6 here before the meeting too, but just something to think about, because that would mean that our baseball and softball teams from middle school and high school will be able to practice on site. Games will still be held off campus, but at least the practices will be allowed to be on site. Just some updates, records. Boys basketball, 4 and 6 for the high school. Girls are 1 and 8 right now. The wrestling team, middle schoolers, are undefeated. They're looking right now.
No, that was.
Okay. Mr. Lake, why did you do
Well, we beat the team that beat us.
that? Okay.
He kind of blocked it out.
We blocked it out. No longer to be remembered. Right now, looking to reclaim state championship, if I got this right. High school, a couple cool things. Mr. Brant Lohr holds our school record right now with the most wins, 11-1. Got some different dual meets and things going on. I think the record, he told me, was 7-2 for the high school team at this point in time.
I think they lost 2 times.
Okay.
He's kept it positivity.
Yeah. Overall, the season's been going well for both our middle school and high school teams. So very pleased with what's going on. But that's all I've got from the department.
Is there any on the fields?
Yes,
I
sir.
know this practice field this year, is there any outlook for next year to have the fields here for games?
Well, the desire is, yes, we'd like to have the fields here. And the nice thing about this is having that dirt, the ground is already graded. We'd have a gentleman come in. What he would do is he would destroy all the weeds. Basically mow them and kill them. And then he would come in, Vulcan has already agreed to come in, and they would lay a layer down of dirt. They would grade it 2 to 3 days is what they think it would take for them to finish. And then we've already got 2 different bids from fence contractors. And the idea is within 2 weeks, the practice fields will be ready. That way you have a base from which the following years raise funds, put grass down, establish a mound to be able to start playing games here. And especially because we have something physical on campus that folks can see, I think building those, the desire is that building those will go faster rather than just a vision of talking about it. Now we see practice fields. And so that desire to have real fields, we can really work on establishing those. Yeah, field duties.
How much money are we gonna save by not practicing on campus instead of off? Will we Britain fields off?
Yes. Yeah, you're renting fields, and you're looking anywhere from,
I think it was $850
Yeah.
just for practice fields last year for
Yeah.
baseball.
yeah, you're looking at about $850. Is what we paid last year, if
Just
not a
for
little
one
bit more,
team.
just
Now
for
we
one
have
team.
But softball was first come, first served, and they had to go stand out and wait for it
Yeah,
and try to get it done. So-
Which was, and Jane will tell you, was not successful most of the time, right? I
Well, we
mean,
got kicked off a couple times, but a lot of the guys that work there were let us down.
and so this year now you're doubling that, because now you have high school teams that are starting along with the middle school teams. Yeah, so you would be saving some money that way.
And so they have a foundation.
Yeah.
going for it. And that money is actually good, like, within this box up.
No, that'd be above and beyond. Because the total amount we need is 18,000. Whatever difference,
So you're asking tomorrow.
yeah, it'd be nice to get 9.
So was
I
the
know.
last district meeting and we set aside money to do a backstop, so that would already be about 9,000.
Yeah. So, and the difference in funds would then be having the gentleman come out, destroy all the weeds, laying that foundation of dirt and stone, grading it, and establishing the fence line and paying for it.
Mr. PTO buying one of the backstops?
Yes.
And that's 18 for both fields, correct?
Yes, that would complete practice fields for both softball and baseball. I don't have a number in front of me. No,
It's gonna be about.
it's
the same.
significant, yeah.
It'll be a double. It'll be another 18.
Yeah.
Grass will be expensive,
They look good.
and dirt's expensive.
Like the soccer field looks really great.
But speaking with Miss Fans of the day, like, because I know we have the 3,800 for both. The boosters, we could get 9 is our ideal. I just keep throwing that number out there. A couple $1,000 difference the school would kick in and pay for to make sure it be completed.
What would that set us like for, like a banquet and everything else we got coming? I don't know how much we spent on it last year.
It's gonna, don't take this the wrong way.
No.
The board's not in on this, so we're kind of still figuring that out. Like, I got like a couple hours head start on notice, but we still need to figure that out. I mean, I think we probably spent $2,000. No, almost 3,000 on the spring banquet last year, because we spent $1,000 on food, no, maybe 2,000. $1,000 on food, 500-600 on awards, and then the decorations or whatever, so maybe $2,000
That needs back on the other expense for the rest of the year.
for the year.
And scholarships,
And the scholarships, we committed to do the scholarships, so that's 5,000.
That's 5,000.
Yeah, so we need, and what's the dollar amount that we need to keep in the
Kitty?
kitty for next year? Is that 3,000?
2,000.
No, I threw him a curveball today.
2,000 in the bank,
To use an analogy.
minimum 2,000 we have to keep for next year.
And we have more teams this year, so let's budget 3 for the banquet. So 5. So we can keep 10. Is this with? Did you put the back in there? But nothing else. Oh,
When does this 9,000 need to be decided on?
Ideally, as soon as possible. Because speaking with the contractors this week, they can start next week.
What would the backstop be for the practice or just the later day?
It would be all part of this. Yeah, it'd be all, it's one package. So they would first come out and do dirt stuff and bring the backstops and establish the fence line.
But 18,000 don't include the backstop, correct?
And it includes all that.
It's all,
It includes
all
the backstop
that's
and the
everything.
dirt.
just not
Well,
grass.
the
Just not
38
grass.
38 is not included in 18,000, correct? That's already been taken out,
No, that's part of that.
the 38.
I have a question. Do we have enough baseball players and softball players to fill all these teams?
We
To be
do.
able to award these types of skills?
Yes, we do. Yep. Yeah, we ended up, because we had electronic interest and then we've had on-site interest. And right now, our on-site interest, what we're seeing is we've got enough of both teams, both for high school softball, high school baseball, middle school baseball, and middle school softball. And we've already established coaches for the teams as well.
That's an extra chunk of money, whenever we have other teams that
I understand.
are still off campus.
I understand.
Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm caught up. So 18,000 does it all with the backstops.
Right.
You've already got 7,600 for the backstop,
Yep.
which leaves you 10,400. And you're looking for boosters to do an extra 9 or to do an extra 6,200. Which would leave 4,200 left.
Ideally, 9,000 in addition.
So that sounds like it would wipe us out.
Until, depending on the golf tournament, which is
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to spend another penny until.
the golf tournament.
So is the money coming from the golf tournament?
No, this is actual dollars that we have now. Because the request is to act on it tonight, so that the fields can be ready for, because when basketball goes longer than wrestling, so when is basketball over? In the worst,
The 10th
Best.
is our last home game, and then the very next week is when we start.
right, so they end at the same time. So ideally,
Unless we're really good.
I mean, an extra week, maybe, right? But, so
They'll be done the next week.
the thought is that baseball and softball will start
Yeah.
the week of the 20th-ish.
Because once those players are released, because they're not allowed to be participating in dual sports, conference rules, but once they're released from one sport, they can start tryouts, and participating in practices.
So can I understand that just for math purposes, we're putting the backstops and boosters paying for and on the fields, what is the total amount of boosters is asking you to complete to this? To the baseball, softball fields?
So I would say 9,000 plus the 3,800, 12,800
Out of the 18?
out of the 18.
No, it's 18 plus 38. Because we already allocated the 38, so the 18's not.
No, I thought he said 18 included the backstops, like the 18 was the backstops, the fields, everything. So we've already committed to 3,800 of that, out of that 18.
And so is PTO.
And so is PTO. So out of the 18, 7,600 it has already been taken care of, which leaves 10,400
So is the,
left.
so if we do 9,000 on top of that, is the school only doing a couple thousand,
1,000 for 1,000,
and the school doesn't have any other money to put towards that?
Because of a building, I mean, the process of building, adding new teams and uniforms, because one of the things we didn't put on the list is the uniforms for the teams. It's one of the things Mr. Brett and I talked about with the school covering the cost of uniforms. So you're looking at roughly another $2,500 there for the new middle school, or not middle school, the new high school baseball and softball teams. So the school purchasing those uniforms. So the school's investing a few more $1,000 than just, I think, the difference there. But our budget's really tight just because we're adding. And just that growth, I mean, there's just a lot of things we've built.
So I'm a new parent,
Yeah,
just
go
so
ahead.
you don't, you just know that I don't have like so much like political background. But I'm just trying to understand, like, from a sports perspective, why all that money should be allocated to that sport and why it should not be divided equally amongst all the sports. Like, I think that's a large sum of money to be dedicated to one single sport.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
think
one
that-
sport, but it is 4 teams.
Well, I think one way to look at it as well is the boosters didn't have to pay for a gym. That was part of the facility, you know, that if boosters was chipping in for a gym, we're far more than 8,000. You know, so that's really, and then wrestling, there's been a little bit, a lot of that's been covered by other sources, you know, fortunately. So I mean, I think that's the main reason why.
It's kind of like we choose a sport, or maybe 2 every year to invest in, just because, I mean, there just are so many that we're doing. Each year we keep adding and trying to make a couple each year more successful. That way we can move efforts on to a couple more. Because, I mean, basketball coaches can tell you, the volleyball coaches can tell you, we need a new gym like crazy because they're maxed out for space. But this year, I mean, the other project that was finished was the new soccer field. And so we just keep trying to invest. So now our players for spring, they get to play here. Not only do they get to practice here, but we also get to host games here. So I guess that'd be kind of my answer to that, is we're trying to choose, or at least from an athletic department, 1 or 2 sports a year that we can try and sink ourselves into, establish them, and then move to another one, help establish them.
Say next year, now, when the games was held at other facilities, we could do concession or charge for admission. If we get it here, we also make a little revenue, I mean, that would be a huge amount of it.
Part of the concessions that makes that's a pastime in my concessions.
Peanuts.
It's hot dogs, and there's.
Everybody's ready for baseball concessions right now.
Please don't understand that $18,000, that is only for practice fields, we won't make any revenue off of those this year.
Well, it'll be the, how I undertake it, would be the foundation for the field.
Yeah.
You know, you're paying for the backstop through that. And then you gotta have dirt to start with, and it'd be something you can add to.
It's not baseball, so what else in the future? And how much are we gonna have baseball?
Grass.
That's
That's included in the
That's
18.
left.
Oh, okay.
So $18,000 to be able to practice, and then next year,
It's just the line.
So then, if that's not the
Yeah.
point, though.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Line fence, not the outfield.
I mean, not throwing the other.
But I think the other question that's come up before though also is what other sports are we focusing on? I mean, golf is hopefully gonna start this year, whatever, but we're not gonna probably be doing lacrosse in the next couple of years. I don't anticipate, we're not doing football, I mean, so maybe we've got some swimming or whatever. I don't think there's probably gonna be a whole lot of other major expenses in the.
What about the fact that we'd like to get wrestling mats and bring wrestling back to the school so that the kids can practice it? I mean, that's an expense that could be addressed.
I don't think that's gonna be happening until we have another facility. Is it?
Another gym.
Yeah, and our facility is, we're talking about doing.
Wrestling.
Right,
Wrestling in gym,
yeah, I mean, that needs. But
as far as practice.
Right. it's just unfortunately,
I mean, I just like, I look at the big picture and I think about like, how do you get like through some corporate support? Well, my husband's walking, that's how we're bringing that to baseball.
Yeah.
Or my son can play baseball, plays wrestling, and so when he wrestles, and so it's like, how do you bring that out to the school? So that's really where you walk to the roads and figure that out. And bring funds to his calculations for that sport. You know, I think it's fair to be, for him to be left to put it on the roof and take it for a long time.
I played baseball as a child. I don't have a baseball player, and I probably never will. But I think to do these sports, you kind of have to pick one and just do it. Because if you spread it out, I don't know that you're ever gonna. Because then maybe next year there'll be a chance for wrestling mats. I don't know, but I guess one at a time.
But if you look at the comparison between what else can do wrestling mats and, I mean, it's like, there's no comparison between this.
You're talking 2 years of 18,000 on fields that are concession standing and being able to play events. I mean, that's exactly what you're saying.
Well,
And then we also have to take into consideration those fields will be used for kickball and recess and that kind of stuff for sixth grade down. So it will be used for more than just, yes, it's gonna be used for a lot more than just the baseball and softball.
I can understand her concerns about dividing the money up, but let's look at it like this. Let's say we don't put this money toward those fields. That land is just, I'm just trying to think the other way. The land is just gonna sit there. We're not gonna rent somewhere for them
Right.
to train, and we're always going to just
Money
want
out.
to play.
I guess we're looking at maybe, you know, like, if there's some, how are other sports represented? I mean, it should be represented in some vision form. I understand why we're doing something kind of sort of schoolwork.
My concern is just wiping the pot out. That seems more of a concern to me, like giving $5,000 towards it instead of $9,000. That way we have some for other incidentals and that kind of thing.
I agree with you. I mean, that's why I was asking some of the questions. I'm all for getting baseball. I'm all for the straight, I'm all for baseball. I got a daughter playing basketball, a son wrestling. Last year I had a daughter in softball. I had to go to rail base, playing field, that's all. That's kind of like did it on campus at Rockville. 9,000, of course, we think that we don't have
Yeah.
I agree, I think that's a large.
5,000 or 6,000, I think we might swing that.
And then, is the baseball mound for middle school and high school the same distance?
I don't know with this new state association if it will be, because last year's middle school, we showed up, every game was different. I mean, we show up, because we didn't have a home field. So we played 50 feet for the mound and 80 bases in High Point, which was our home field. But when we went to Uwharrie and we went to other places, it was 60, 90, which was high school. So I don't know, I don't know if you
Yeah, so how are you gonna run events that being one baseball field?
the only way to do that would be a portable mound.
So I just think, obviously, the concern is that right now, wiping out the funds, we just don't have it. We can't tie ourselves in a bucket hoping for the future that our golf tournament can be successful. Until we have that, we just can't commit more. I would motion or move that instead of the 9, I'd like do 5, or something where it's keeping a budget in there above the backstops.
Plus,
Above the backstops, another 5?
Yeah, do it another
5,200 would put 9,000, I think. That's, I figured 9,000 total.
And that's half.
Yeah,
And
so
that's-
I would be comfortable with that. I would move to,
And that's not counting.
And that's not counting the PTO's
So
3,800.
that's still way more than half that the PTO and boosters is contributing.
so
Will
that,
that get us at least dirt and fencing in the safety areas where it wouldn't hit cars. I mean, I don't know, I don't have baseball either, so.
Well, so that would be my motion, is I move that as the boosters, we fund up to 9,000, including what we've already allocated. So whatever that is, the 5,200 or whatever that is.
And then once the golf tournament, and see how
Then
that
we know how it
goes,
goes.
then we'll know how much more money we have.
That leaves us 12,000, which is healthy. That's where we started the year. So
So we're not spending.
I don't feel as bad. I don't know if that helps enough for the school, but from this board's perspective, we started the year with $12,133. So we're essentially change there again. So
With that 5 and the backstop, you think that would still be on schedule?
I think you're still gonna get your backstops. Dirt, I don't know if you can get the fence. So, but I would need to sit down and talk with them,
Right.
yeah.
That-
Because we've got different bids, I just.
And that might be something Vince could be at later, I don't know if you really, I know the backstop.
again, it's the practice field, and Mr. Porter, right? Porter Master, as he said, it doesn't include the outfield fence. So that would have to be added at a different time anyway, so the sideline fence, other than having the boys have to chase, which we've all done at practice fields in the past, chase balls a little bit during practice. I mean,
So we go, that's my motion.
all right.
Gotta go
And
pick up kids.
second, all right, we actually need to do a vote, so we need to count. So all in favor, we're gonna take a hand vote.
We're voting for an additional $5,200 to be given to
5,200.
the school for the baseball practice fields, which is a grand total of $9,000 being donated between the backstops and this vote tonight.
Yeah, but the 3,800's already been approved.
The
so.
3,800's been approved, so we're looking to approve an additional 5,200 to go towards the baseball fields.
She did do that, baseball and softball.
Baseball and softball, sorry, baseball and softball fields, both fields. All in favor? Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Sorry, I love you all.
Thank you, guys. Oh, that took some air out of it.
Well, I thank you for the discussion. I mean, our goal was just to keep going. So, but I'll sit down with you.
Okay,
The other thing that you had requested us vote on, I don't know if that was tonight or not, was a $750 gate.
Yeah.
Anybody have questions on that? Yes, ma'am?
Have there been issues?
Yes.
I mean, you have access to the entire building because you have to have restrooms. You can't let parents use the locker rooms because that's where the athletes are. So we have to have restroom access for the parents. And so in order to do that, we have to leave those doors open.
And typically what happens is it's either Mr. LeBrecq and myself, or Ms. Vance is here too, we just are constantly sweeping the building.
And that's a lot of manpower, making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be. When they're supposed to be.
Let's go down here where this corner, where it tees off in the hall. Originally, we wanted to put it down the elementary right after the restrooms. Said you have to have multiple points of egress to get out of the building, and it's not enough, so they moved it down to this end of the hall. That way there's double on that end, there's double on this end, plenty of points of access so people can get in or out of the building if there's a fire.
Now, in my understanding, when we talked about this before, it is a portable gate. So it is one that it latches, it's hooked, anchored into the wall, but we could have anchors in multiple points of the building. So if we're having an event somewhere else, we could feasibly move it to block other areas. So it expands out, it hooks into the anchors in the wall.
We only have to put it out on game night for aesthetic reasons. And we don't want.
It wouldn't be up during the day.
Yeah. The anchors would be, the anchors are
But like-
We're not
permanent.
trying to.
like there's a middle school dance on Saturday. If we had it, we would have put it up.
The total price instead of 50, share them up with the other.
Entertain a motion to approve $750 for the gate.
What would it be for the, I mean, is something that what we could do, or just
Yeah.
something that's gonna take a while?
Yeah. Mr. Lebeck and I'll put it up. So as soon as we get it, we can put it up. Because it really is, it's hardware that mounts to the wall, and you get multiple sets of the same hardware and they can go to different locations, because it is portable.
And it is expandable, my understanding
and you
is.
can
So
expand
if
it.
we needed to get expandable for a bigger hallway at some other point, we could buy an expansion to put in there and make it work in other areas.
As soon as needed, no?
Yes, sir.
That's installation too, you said the brakes don't move?
Yeah, the two of us are gonna do it.
Okay.
So move.
Before you vote, I'm gonna give you the up to the minute balance. Yeah. My hand's slipped. All right, so the up to the minute balance with the 5,200 coming out is $13,262.35. So I guess my math was off.
Thirty-eight hundred on that.
Right.
This is up
Right,
to the
that was
minute
already
now.
set to the side.
That was how much? 13?
13,262.35.
So what's left to fund is the athletic banquet.
Yeah, we're good there. I mean, with this,
Is there any other big,
we got scholarships, which is 5,000, 2,000 to keep in the bank mandatory for our bylaws, and 3,000 for the banquet.
And we still have additional concessions to come in.
Yeah, we have concessions.
Ticketing.
We don't really get concessions during the spring very much. But we will have the last couple games and whatever playoff stuff there is, if it's held here. No Panthers playoff tickets this year, that hurt. There is not. Well, there's gonna be a student faculty. Yeah, is that what you said? The student faculty. Yeah, the students are gonna play the teachers, but we might, last year we made $1,200 on the whole thing, and we did it the hard way. I mean, it was, we didn't make any money, trust me. It said 1,200, but it wasn't.
Thank you.
Okay, so including the gate?
Including the gate.
All right, so we're roughly $2,500 above everything I said, plus 2,500. So
If we've taken the $5,200 out, if we take the $3,000 out for the banquet, if we take $2,000 out for our minimum requirements for next year, if we take the $5,000 out for the scholarship, and we take the $750 out for the gate, we are left with $2,500.
But you might make more at the golf tournament.
But then we have the golf, we still have the golf tournament concessions,
Tickets.
ticketing.
here's my perspective, and I don't vote, so this is, but let me just put it in perspective, I guess, all right? Last year in September or August, right, Jane, when we started, we had nothing. So in 16, 15 months, we came up with $20,000. We can do it again. My perspective is we're spending the money on the kids. It's not, are these my priorities necessarily? No. But this is coming from Mrs. Fanza and the administration, and this is their priorities. And it's for the benefit of their kids. So I will make my commitment personally as a parent here with 3 kids here. I'm gonna raise more money for whatever we need in the future. So that's my perspective. I'm not gonna say, I mean, we just spent a ton of money. $750 really isn't that much, but in the grand scheme of things, I just ask everybody, whether you're, in favor or not, help with the golf tournament. We got a big number a goal for that golf tournament. we've had a lot of traction over the last 24 hours. I think we might have sold the key sponsor, which is $2,000 right off the top. I know that we've sold 6 golf holes in the last 24 hours. While we were sitting here, I just got an email from somebody to the Boosters Facebook page that said, couldn't make it to tonight's meeting, want to find out how I can be a sponsor. So it's rolling in. We got 91 days until the golf tournament. I know I freaked out and everybody else freaked out. That's usually what happens. But we got 91 days. That's a long time. I'll tell you guys a little secret. We put the well, if you didn't like it, then you'll agree. But we put the trunk or treat thing together in like 5 days. So, and it turned out great and everybody loved it. So
Thanks, Casey.
91 days.
Thanks to Casey.
Thanks to Casey. She did it together. But we got 91 days. I can redo pretty much anything. All right. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? It's carried unanimously.
Okay. Moving on. Golf tournament, Mr. Brown.
We're on the 29th of April, we're at the golf tournament in Meadowlands. I did very little. Casey and Clay have did a ton of work on this. And it's hopefully gonna raise us some money. So right now, we got sponsorships. We're in sponsorship mode, so we need anybody that has a business or knows people that has a business that may be interested in sponsoring. We got to tap them. I mean, we really do. If you need any information on it, we got a web link. Casey set up, it's great. Talks you all the way through it. All the different sponsorships, the levels, and so that's pretty much the mode we're in right now. We're just trying to get together sponsorships.
Absolutely makes me to be able to say $20,000 to baseball or whatever for the money that all that is, but it's based on sponsors. We've got to get sponsors.
Do you have the funds here or how do they access
It's www.fairways2thefuture.com is the website. And there's email addresses, contact information. Let us know. We'll give you packets. We'll give packets of sponsorship information. We're working on a nifty little packet with information about the school. Let us know. We'll get it to you. We've got great salespeople who will help. If you're not comfortable with talking and asking for money, we have people here that there's no problem. We'll help you. Raise your hands.
Well, thank you for that.
Got somebody wanting to sign up, thing, that was a good about that.
The website.
You can go to the same website. It's all inclusive. It's great.
We do the boosters page, advocates page.
Can you get to on the school website?
We will do it, I'll have it done tomorrow. I'll do it right now. But we'll do that tomorrow. You can pay online, you can pay by check. Super simple, super easy. You can sign up for the team, sign up for the golfers. But we need some sponsors.
And even the extra stuff you can pay for online, like mulligans, what else was on there? The putting contest, all that. I mean, you just put it in your cart.
We got a chance to win a recruit, but actually it's
10
guaranteed.
Well, there's $10,000 in cash for.
Yeah, $10,000 cash for the. I have it right in front of me. And this will guarantee somebody who is guaranteed to win a 2 night, 7 night cruise retreat. Guaranteed. So then you gotta come. You gotta get there.
How much does the whole talk?
150.
Now.
We got our first team today.
Goal on that is to get 70 players, 72 teams. Or 72 players. Yeah, we want a team on each other. We just shot them started, so.
Well, 68 now. We got our first
We got a team,
four.
that's right.
So 68. It's going to go fast. Tomorrow will be 64, so on and so forth.
We could use help today, if anybody wants to help out.
And we need athletes. Can we ask that? Can we get all the athletes, families to volunteer to have a presence there? There's going to be a lot of help. This is benefiting the athletes.
Yeah.
So if we can get them working whole stadium, directing people, we'll shirts, we'll find some kind of uniform for the players, but this is for them. But if we can get the parents and the kids, and we'll get closer to the time, we'll just sign up and we'll get everybody over. We haven't gotten yet. but we also have, or we need to have athletes
Yep.
and the coaches and.
The parents.
Especially the high school guys, because
Yeah.
the middle school guys tend to get forced to go
Right.
by their parents, but they don't really help a ton because they're kids and they don't really know.
I don't think Grant Lore's watching, but I'll force him to.
Oh,
I'll,
Benny's-
I'll help as well.
Benny's already been forced to, do it, so.
I'm one of those moms.
Yeah, those guys are good. I mean,
They're gonna do it.
So if you guys know any businesses or any people that you know, could potentially be a sponsor, would you consider being a sponsor, do a team, whatever, just contact us and let us know, because I'll be glad to talk to them and try to figure out, you know, what they do and what they're not contributing, what they're doing, not volunteer to do. I think it's super important. I've come in on the back end of this, is having a student who joined several of the sports teams, who was in the cross country or whatever. I do fundraising, I run a nonprofit charity, but I do feel like this could be a huge success to parents in all sports across the board participating and hold this up, because then everybody has funds to allocate for everything they want to do.
If this goes well, it could be something.
I think this first year it's gonna be more difficult than anything. Next year, I think once it gets known, I think we're not gonna have as much trouble getting sponsors. And I think it's gonna be hopefully a little easier.
I think it's impressive to have it now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
well, that'll draw teams. And, and that was one of the reasons, because we contacted everybody. And Meadowlands wasn't the cheapest, but they did offer the best package as far as helping us. And it's close to the school, especially, which one was the one that closed? Maple Leaf? Maple Leaf's the one that closed, so.
I'll be more than happy to reach out, all that, the players and coaches and stuff. I'll start doing it tomorrow. Yeah, that was the other, we were just talking about,
Cheerleaders, I don't have no problem.
yeah, we're talking about cheerleaders.
She'll be there.
Riley's gonna be there.
We'd love to have, a foursome, like, even if the coaches, each coach, even if they don't play golf, maybe they're the honorary captain of the foursome, and they go recruit, their friends or guys just to represent high school basketball, represent middle school basketball, high school softball, and just have their own teams, and they can, cheer them on and some, bragging rights between the teams and stuff like that in the golf tournament. We're gonna do a nice
Maybe
job
each players-
with
players make
awards. It's gonna be,
We got a great award package.
yeah, and there's lots of prizes.
We want to talk about some of the, like, Chick-fil-A and the contacts with that. I talked to Katie a little bit about it. I think those would be nice people to, we need to know who handles them and getting them here and who's the relationship with, so that we can,
Can we send it to?
I'm all for it.
And that's actually Queen Christine Investment. And she said she has a.
okay,
Dave has,
And I have a couple
Dave
names.
has the
that-
contacts for Chick-fil-A coming up.
Yeah.
To get to.
Like family businesses.
How could you think here, $750 a day?
Right.
We can do this shopping as well.
Yep, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock shot.
Part of those, yes. And how come the golf team started? March 6th is the first, place when the golf team starts. Those bringers in mission, they're not those, they're not playing the middle.
Not yet, we're tomorrow.
That weekend. Maybe no one promised the date.
It is the,
I feel like it's the 28th.
It's the 26th.
No, it's the 29th.
It's 22nd of April.
Oh, the week before.
yeah, because we had a business.
Yeah, but I thought we got,
Yeah.
or we.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So just reach out. I mean, casually, just my wife sold a thing, just, she got you holes, yeah. in a day. And all she did, honestly, was just ask the people that we use, as she went to the horse farm that my daughter rides at and just asked them. And one of my other daughters at dance and just asked him. So
We're gonna be dry cleaners, insurance agencies, whoever you do business with. Everyone.
anything else on golf for right now? Please just, if you can, help out. It's really important so that we can keep funding lots of these big projects. Just real quick on concessions. Most of you guys know the person that was handling concessions had to step away unexpectedly. So things haven't been running super smooth. If any of you guys have volunteered or plan to volunteer in the last couple of events of the year, if you notice something's out or we're out of something, just let Mr. LeBret or Katie or somebody know, because I can get it almost in real time. With my company, we go to Sam's Club, and we're in Greensboro like twice a day, every day. So if there's a game tonight and somebody notices we're out of gum or something, just send me a note at night and it'll be here by 3 o'clock the next day. It's only happened a couple times this year, but it's like, I'll ask somebody who maybe didn't check, oh, how's everything in concessions? Oh, it's fine. And then literally the next day, people are like, there's no candy, there's no soda, there's no popcorn. What kind of place are you running here? And I'm like, I didn't know I was running. And then they say, but I can go get those things. So that's kind of that situation. Just let us know and we'll get it. But as I said last year, that job is really, really important. And when we don't have somebody that loves it like, a project or a baby, then we have issues. Moving on to sports banquet. This is more for you, just so it was a reminder for me. Can we make sure that we have the gym reserved for the date? And I think Beth and Katie, can you give him the date that we have set for the banquet? I think it's May something. Okay. Any of you guys that went to the banquet last year were reaching out for anything that needed fixes, like anything that went poorly? Yeah, the guy showed up late. And we've already committed to not using him this year because he showed up when we were supposed to start serving. And which I was like, all right, well, and then he started like opening all the food to start cooking it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know the food wasn't cooked yet. We're in trouble. And as somebody that kind of does that for a living, it freaks me out. Yeah, Beth was madder than I was. So we're definitely looking for somebody else to do the food. Any other fixes off the top I thought we had enough room. It was nicer that it was in that big space. I thought it moved really well once we got the food through. I think to solve that is 2 buffet lines of the same food, just one on one side of the room, one on the other. Just have people go that way. Food. If anybody has any suggestions on food, we're open ears. Awards. Everybody, I think the kids love the awards, and that was the big part, right? Last year. What was I used your guy. Which one's that? The award guy in Winston.
Oh,
I forget the name of it. Wilkes. Jamie Wilkes trophies, and they did a good job. They gave us like 5 for free, just because we bought so many, and so that was a really good deal. And local. I mean, I know there's probably somebody in Curtisville that's somebody's cousin, but I mean, he did a good job, and he did it really quickly. Yeah, so, and we're gonna use him for the golf tournament also. So.
That we can incorporate the members on, we can incorporate maybe snapshots from all the teams throughout, things like that. Utilize that, and then, so the last year.
May 19th.
Is that the date?
May 19th.
And we should have pictures of every team, because every team is being photographed professionally during the year.
That's what we have.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we got.
So I can go ahead and put it on the calendar. So
I want to say just but we had a conflict last year too. I think we were trying to piggyback on something else.
And I like that committee idea, so I think we're gonna try and reach out to people to join a committee. Because I also, and it's the last thing on my agenda, is I'd like to do like a gift or something. We talked about it last year and it got tabled to this year because it was like a little last minute, but I'd like to get the coaches some, a little something. There's less this year than there was last year, but there are some coaches who aren't faculty, so they don't necessarily get paid. So, those, you want them to keep coming back if they're doing a good job. So, just something for those guys. We have thank you cards that we had made for boosters that are pretty cool, and just somebody with nice handwriting and a felt pen or something to say thanks. Anybody have anything else? That's pretty much my agenda.
With the golf startup, is there going to be any kind of expense for?
Uniforms for
Well,
golf?
not necessarily uniforms, but for use of golf course?
I don't know that we know that yet. Do you have any idea about that? I think it's somewhere in the middle of passing it on to the player and and the school. So I don't think that there's a plan, but there is enough interest to house a golf team on paper. We haven't seen them. There hasn't been a meeting on campus yet, right?
no, it's just an electronic interest.
Yeah, so we know how that goes sometimes, so, but that'll happen sooner.
What is golf, is it 5 that can play in the match or 7?
I think they can all play and then only a few of, only 5 or 6 of them count. But again, this is the first year, so my understanding is it's gonna be very similar to the way they did wrestling last year. It's a club for the most part, so we're getting started, and if there's success and there's interest, then maybe next year it becomes a full-fledged sport. But they have matches, LeBret,
Yeah, we've got.
have set up matches with other teams. So who knows what that looks like? Because there's several kids with electronic interest that have never played golf.
Yeah.
And go,
I'm trying to do driving range time.
Yeah.
We need, if the matches are set up, then we need to have an interest meeting and have commitments. So because it's expensive sport.
It is.
People know kind of budget and plan. And I know.
No, I agree. That's the next thing on our agenda. To finalize coach routine. Yeah, just the large challenge. Our large challenge with golf has not been necessarily interest from students. It's been getting golf course time locally for a team. We have meets with other schools as we travel to them. They've got time. We're trying to get team time at least a couple days a week, like you said, more of a club mentality, so they can get practice down here. Because several of them, I would say, several of them never played before. So they're interested in trying it out.
that's what I was thinking when I saw the names.
Yes, they have to bring their own equipment. Yeah, they have to bring their own equipment, they have to provide their own balls, that type of stuff. Yeah, and it's 6th grade and up, just like the other sports. Same thing.
I didn't get to it.
Just making sure.
Somebody called me at 4:30, threw a wrench in my day. Oh, you sent me a text?
Yeah.
I didn't get to it.
Okay,
Okay.
just making sure.
All right.
Anyone missed?
Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
You second. before
didn't make
somebody
it?
First.
Oh, I thought you made it.
I entertained.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Ms. Harris?
Next meeting is,
I already sent you a
next meeting's February 23rd. Yes. All of ours piggyback on PTO. We're just trying to keep them all here. One night to be done.
I think you had more people than we did. It's good.
We've got,
like that.
we've got
We still like-
potential.
Um,
I just,
Oh, yeah.